Hi, I'm Annabelle, and I'm sitting here with the new head of the senior school, Miss Sabundayo.
Hi, Annabelle. Thanks so much for having me here. I'm really excited to be here today.
So, just first question, why did you choose to come to Shadyside?
Thinking expansively and acting ethically and leading responsibly really spoke to me. And I think that was something that really resonated with me in looking at different schools for my next move. It was clear to me that this was a place that felt like home in terms of the importance of relationships and the ways that we put our students first.
What was your favorite class in high school?
My senior English class was, I think it was a sci-fi, but it was less about the content and more about my teacher. And he really opened my eyes to understanding that I was actually quite good at analysis and that I really actually liked to read. I didn't really like to read at all. And I eventually became an English teacher, I think as a result of Mr. Christian.
Do you have any ideas for how you'll get to know students and their experiences, especially considering this year will be a little bit different and everyone kind of is going to be more spaced out than usual? So how do you plan on getting to know the culture here at Shadyside?
You know, like I said, I think having conversations, whether they're one-on-one or in groups, is really important. So making certain that there are many opportunities to do that. I loved doing, I used to have lunches with groups of students last year, and so if I can continue to do that, that was actually really helpful for me. But I'm someone who really relies on relationships, so making certain that I'm establishing relationships and partnering with faculty and students and families in whatever way that I can, I think would be sort of my mission. Yeah.
And what's your favorite thing about Pittsburgh so far?
So I'd say the food has been really fun. We are a big pastry and donut and ice cream family. So we've sort of been going around to all the different bakeries also. So that has been fun. And we've actually explored a lot of the parks. So we hit Highland Park and then Riverview and then recently Frick. We've been back to Frick a couple times. So we've really been enjoying the parks. So food, parks, people, we've really enjoyed the people. And I will say I love the architecture of the city. We just drive around and actually try to get lost. And we try not to use any Waze or MapQuest. And we're like, let's try to see if we can get from here to there without cheating. But it's been fun because we've found ourselves in different neighborhoods that are, and it doesn't really matter what neighborhood we've found ourselves in, just it feels rich in culture and history.
How will you be a part of the conversation about the inequities, whether relating to race, gender, socioeconomic status, or sexuality, and especially considering your past role at PDS as a leader of diversity and inclusion?
Yeah. Well, I think the first is to listen. That's really important. And I think, again, I don't know what I don't know unless I listen. So I think that's the first way to be part of the conversations. I think the other is to make certain that we're opening space to have conversations, that we're transparent about what our expectations are, and then that we have room and give room and allow room to practice, make mistakes, understand that there's never sort of an end goal, that this is work that is ongoing and that we are continuing to learn together as a community.
Okay, this is kind of lightning round questions, just fun ones. Do you have a favorite book at the moment?
My son and I are reading the Chronicles of Narnia.
Favorite movie?
My son and I and my husband Josh were really into the Marvel series.
Oh, yeah.
So he's a lot of activities with my kids.
A hobby that you have that isn't related to schoolwork?
I love to paint and I love to garden. I'm a little bit of a plant geek. I love to build things with, I made my own compost bin, and this is totally crazy.
Ooh, no,
yeah.
That's
So we're
cool.
gonna make another compost bin in our new house. And I love to knit. I think right now what we're doing as a family is we're doing a lot of hiking. So that's just always a part of, I don't know if I would consider that a hobby. It's more like just part of our lives, so.
What enables you to kind of connect with younger people, especially because you lead younger people, so?
If you were to ask my students, I think they would say that I speak pretty straight and plain, and they appreciate that. And I like to see students and faculty and families as people, and I think students and families really appreciate that about me.
Ielos or Minios?
Ielos, crust. Minios, the sauce.
Yeah.
But I would say we have done a lot of exploring. We ate our way through Butler Street when we first arrived.
I love that.
Yeah, except I don't know if I fit into my pants anymore.
If you could have dinner with any person dead or alive, who would it be?
Gabriela Garcia Marquez would be one. Actually, I'd just love to live with Toni Morrison. Those two would probably be at the top of my list. Toni Morrison and Marquez.
What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were younger?
I know that at one point I wanted to be an architect. I also danced ballet for a long time. So I imagined myself being a ballerina. And it's pre-med, so at one point I imagined myself being a doctor. But all of my friends were always saying, you should be a teacher because you're so good at explaining things. And so I think maybe that was always in the back of my mind. But I knew at the end of my undergrad years that I really wanted to teach. And I don't know if that's necessarily younger, but that was a long time ago. So that was when I was young.